am very scared to post this video because I don't know how it's going to be received. I do not wish for it to affect how you receive the messages that I have, because I have received over 500 emails of you guys sharing your testimonies and your stories, and I just don't want that to stop. So definitely scared, but I know that means I have to do it. My whole life, when I move towards the fear and through it, that's when the biggest breakthroughs happen for me personally. So here we go. So many of you have asked me to share my story. You have asked me who I am and where I come from, and I've been struggling to find the correct answer for that. It seems that none of the words I can find really do justice. So I meditated on it and I prayed on it, and the answer did come to me. I realized I have been fortunate enough to have accidentally documented a lot of this journey over the past 4 years. And that documentation happened through videos that I posted on TikTok. So instead of telling you my story, I am going to show you the evolution. It very much feels like I'm bearing my soul here, because you will see, you might not recognize me in these past versions of myself, but they very much are still a part of me. And if you have watched my live, you will know I do still carry that same chaotic energy all over the place. It's just that now I have learned to focus it and channel it when I need to and when I want to. But it is exhausting, and it's not something that I want to do all the time. I also really like just letting my energy have fun. I like the playfulness and the silliness, and also the breakthroughs that come from not taking yourself too seriously. I know I deliver these messages in a very specific way, and that is because that is how the energy feels when I receive them. I am a writer by heart, and I have been shown that if I meditate and I set an intention and I pray and I just allow my hand to be guided, then sometimes when I read it back, it makes no sense. And then I need to take more time to make sense of what it was that I just wrote down. And then I take that message and I share it. And I will continue to keep doing that. And I do hope that it will continue to keep finding the people who resonate with it. And truly, I am so sorry if this makes you see me differently, but I know I talk about authenticity and how important it is to share. And I'm very big on practicing what you preach. So even though it scares me a lot and I'm out of breath as I'm recording this, I cannot not do it, if that makes sense. So I don't know how it will be perceived. I don't know what the outcome of this will be. I hope it will be good. I hope I will not lose too many people. I hope it will not cause the majority of you to disregard the messages that come through me. So I'm gonna start playing the videos now. I have chosen to screen record them so that you can also see the date it was posted, and I will be sharing it in chronological order. The first few videos have nothing to do with spirituality or religion or anything esoteric or otherworldly, but I am sharing them just so you can get a sense of what the content was that I used to share. And you will see as it continues to go on. You can watch the date on the screen recordings. You can definitely see the evolution, and I personally think it's beautiful, and I am in awe of how everything has connected and come together. So without further ado, if this is something you want to see, keep watching.
You're gonna call me baby. tears I've cried today is insane. It just doesn't stop. I'm still crying. It's so dumb.
Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark. I'm sorry, that was stuck in my head all day, and if I have to be subjected to it, you have to be subjected to it, because that's how this works. This is what you pay me for, even though you don't pay me, so I just do it for free. I need to get a job. Anyways, yeah, so I just wanted to share that wonderful thing I just discovered all on my own. I'm not British. It comes out sometimes. I'm gonna get roasted again, aren't I? You guys can be really mean. Like, most of the times you're really sweet, but you can be really mean, and then I'm just like...
All I am is a man who wants the world in my hands. I hate the beach, but I stand in California with my toes in the sand. Use the sleeves of my sweater. Let's have an adventure. Head in the clouds, but my gravity's centered. Touch my neck and now touch yours. In these little high-waisted shorts. Oh, he knows what I think about. And what I think about is one love, two mouths. One love, one house. No shirt, no blouse, just us. You find out nothing I wouldn't want to tell you about. No, 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 'cause it's too cold.
Hi, so for today's dose of motivation, I want to tell you something that everybody has heard, but I strongly believe nobody can afford to not be reminded of it. If you're thinking like bad thoughts, like I can't do this, I'm so weak, I'm so stupid, we all think those thoughts sometimes. Imagine those are words being said by the person that you love and care for most in the world. If your best friend was saying that, would you tell them, yeah, you're right, you should just give up, you're so stupid, you can never do anything right? If you wouldn't say that to them, don't say it to yourself. If you would say that to them, you're a bully, heal and be better. But yeah, so just imagine someone you love is saying that and respond as you would respond to them. Okay? Because you need to be nice to yourself. But if you can't speak to yourself as if you're someone that you love, imagine that it's someone that you love saying it. I hope that makes sense. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. I love you. Okay, bye.
At night before I go to
difficult video for me to make, and normally I would never, but been in this situation many times, but it's a bit different now because baby on the way. My husband and I normally work overseas, so we've been jobless since COVID started, not due to not looking. Mind you, we've sent hundreds of CVs. I've only gotten 2 interviews. The last one was actually the day I found out I was pregnant, and when I told the lady I found out I'm pregnant today, she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we can't hire you then." We have rent due, we have bills that need to be paid. My first doctor's appointment and ultrasound is 2 weeks from now. We don't know how we're gonna pay that. We don't know how we're gonna keep the power on. And I know this is a sad reality for a lot of people right now, so I cannot ask for money from anyone.
I've been told to make a GoFundMe because my TikTok friends would support it. I can't do that. Like, so I'm not asking for money. What I am asking is, do you guys think it's a good idea to make this my full-time job? To make TikTok my full-time job? If you do think I could do that and you would support me in that, I've done so much research and I've messaged so many people and I'm getting a lot of contradictory information. So I would really appreciate it if you have any advice or tips, or if you know of agencies I can work with or people I can, like, that can help me. If you could just email me, my email is in my profile. You can also email me if you just want to introduce yourself as a friend and chat. And you guys are all like super nice. You're all great friends to have. So yeah, or in the comments maybe tell me what kind of content you want to see from me, or tag brands you think I could work with. This is a scary time. This is a really scary time, but we're gonna get through it, and I know that because I have you guys on my side. Like, I'm super fortunate, actually, and I'm so aware of that. So I also just want to say thank you.
Hi guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support you showed me on my last video. That video is no longer listed as public because I didn't want to milk the situation. That didn't sit right with me. It is still available for friends to see though, because for me it will always be a testament of how kind people can be. And I just really wanted to say thank you. You guys were so nice, so supportive. I feel so freaking blessed to have all of you guys. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for that, and your regularly scheduled content will resume today.
Up is your worldview. I'm gonna say some words and you're gonna finish my sentences. Based on your responses, we'll see how good or bad your personal programming is. Life is, happiness is, men are, women are, I am a. Based on the answers you've given, how do
draait ik op zijn draai, is die lamp dom en een zwaar gelei. Nou behaard, wat skielik wil vergiet. Daar geen weer draait ik op zijn draai, is die lamp dom en een zwaar gelei. Zie jij mij uit je wel vergiet. Ai, ai, die vetboeskraai, hier vandaan al zo bij, maar maak jij je auto soms zo? Of draai jij weg bij je, maak je hart weer draaien in die kop.
If you've ever felt like, okay, the 5 love language, right? If you've ever felt like you don't really know which love language is yours because you kind of relate to all of them, that's normal, because we all like a bit of all of them. But we have our favorites, and if you're struggling to figure out what your favorite might be, it might be a good idea to look at how you sabotage yourself, because the negative behaviors towards yourself is usually the opposite of what your love language is. So if you like talk down to yourself a lot, your love language is probably words of affirmation, and you should try to compliment yourself instead. If your home is really messy, your love language is probably acts of service, and you keep your home messy as a way to self-sabotage. You should get a friend and have a cleaning party. If your love language is physical touch, you will like not deny yourself from interacting with others. I don't know why I'm so shaky right now. That kind of thing, you know? What's the other love languages? I said 3. Gift giving if your love language is gift giving, then you might like self-sabotage by feeling like you're unworthy of giving yourself anything. I say like a lot. What's the other one? Acts of service, physical touch, words of affirmation. What's the last one? I'm spacing. I forgot the last one, but like you get the vein of things, you know? Wait, I'm gonna see if I can. I'm probably not gonna remember it. Acts of service, physical touch, gift giving. I said that one. Okay, solve the cube. So I guess my time is up now. So that's. I just wanted to say, guys, take care of yourselves. That's. I don't know. Pretty sure I just made a life-changing decision, but let me give you some more details before I tell you what it is. A few weeks ago, and I remember having a thought. Not for the first time. I remember thinking, I can really help people. Like, if people would just listen to me, I can totally help change their lives. But I fell asleep that night, convincing myself that people don't want to be told what to do. The next day, I was scrolling TikTok, and this girl came across my For You page, and I was just so blown away. She was talking about the exact same thing that I was thinking about the night before, and people were responding. So I made a note of her username, and I continued with life. Fast forward a few days, I'm absentmindedly on my phone while actually thinking about whether it's possible to believe something into existence. So I opened TikTok out of habit, and the very first video on my For You page is the hoodwinkler talking about the Tinkerbell effect. It became like this obsessive voice telling me that I'm supposed to be sharing my thoughts and experiences, but I was still scared and hesitant. So I decided to make a deal with God or the universe or whoever. You know the ones where you go like, if this is what I'm supposed to do, then the next time the hoodwinker comes across my feed, she's going to have more than 100,000 followers. And then I will know that will be my sign that I'm supposed to share it. Because there is people that want this kind of content. And then I just went on with my life. I bet you can guess what happened next, but would you have guessed that it happened that very same night? I was once again scrolling TikTok, and of course, hoodwinkler comes across my For You page. I take a deep breath, I go to her page, and sure enough, she has over 100,000 followers. Which means it's time for me to keep up my end of the deal. I'm pretty sure the world has shifted. I can feel it. I know some of you guys can feel it too. And I don't know how I'm supposed to help, but I know I want to help. I know I can help. I know I will help. So I guess all of this is just to say that if you want to, you can join me and we can figure out the how together. I'm not scared of lions and tigers and bears, but I'm scared of wasting my potential. And I know there's some people who are also scared of that. So if you're scared of wasting your potential, I can help you to reach your full potential. But obviously I'm not going to be able to help everyone. So to find out if I will be able to help you, if we can be a good fit, leave a question in the comment about something that's always baffled you. And I will see if I can make it make sense for you. If I can make it make sense for you, then you're someone I can help maybe. What is this? Before I go, did you know that if you see the numbers 9, 11 everywhere, or a lot, that means you're being called to do light work. I really wanted to share with you guys. If you want, I can go more in depth, but I had to tell you right now, because I know a lot of people have been seeing 9, 11. Tell me if you're one of them. Let me just start by saying I was gonna delete this comment, but then I decided if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do all parts of it, even if it's uncomfortable. So, okay. That being said, some people are going to take comfort in what I'm about to say, and some people are going to take offense. Both of those are perfectly valid responses. I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. I'm simply saying this is how it makes sense to me. This is how I make sense of it. I think what you currently define as a bad person is what I would currently define as a lost person, because I don't believe there are any bad people. And I also believe that nobody dies before their soul's mission is completed, before they have made the impact that they are supposed to make. And for some people, this impact is going to go way beyond just their life.
but death is the great equalizer and we all die in the end. When you think about it like that, then it makes sense why the people that are lost are taking a little longer to make the impact that they're supposed to make. And therefore, kind of like that saying, only the good die young, I guess.
The first step to changing your life is realizing that you have access to so much more than just your physical senses. There's a doctor in India that found that if someone imagines lifting up their hand and writing something, then the same parts of their brain light up that would be lighting up if they were actually lifting up their hand and writing something. Let me help you visualize it.
So over here you have a brain scan of someone who physically lifts up their hand and writes something. And this is what happens in the brain every time that they do that they physically lift up their hand and write something. This happens every single time. In this part right here, this very thing happens. Then, if you scan the brain of somebody who is imagining that they are lifting up their hand and writing something, in the exact same part of the brain, this happens every time they imagine it. The exact same pathways are being formed.
Your brain cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. I believe this is because people either don't realize or they have forgotten one very important thing when it comes to how humans are capable of perceiving the world. And that's that we are blessed with so much more than just our physical senses. But that's because our current society hasn't really progressed to the point where these senses are valued. And that's because I'm getting off track. The point I'm trying to make is that intuition is a sense. Imagination is a sense. Desire is a sense. There are all these higher senses that people use to perceive and in fact create their reality. And I believe that can be proven by the fact that the brain cannot tell what is real and what is imagined. Because at the end of the day, the input the brain is receiving is coming from a sense both times. What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you imagine, what you desire, these are all senses. And senses are there to help you make sense of the world. Use all your senses, not just the physical ones, and your life will change. The first step to changing your life, basically I'm selling my knowledge and all you gotta pay is attention. I've got the gift of gab. I'm really good at simplifying concepts and making them easier to understand. And I have kind of like this sixth sense of knowing what someone needs to hear and how they need to hear it, you know, for it to click for them. Combine that with the fact that I am just such a fan of people. Like I'm such a cheerleader. I really just want everyone to be their most fulfilled and at peace versions of themselves. Now I will still elaborate on my personal story, but for a lot of you, that's all you need to know to understand. Now I'm finally in a place where I'm able to look back at the past decade and I can see a clear path of how everything connected and fell into place to add up to the person that I am today, in the position that I am today. And I know the only thing missing from me being truly fulfilled is helping others and showing them that they can do the same. I'm offering information and what you do with it is up to you. I'm not trying to convince anyone, I'm just saying this is what I did. So if you don't want to struggle as much as I struggled, maybe just get the roadmap.
You can change people with your energy, but only when you are not consciously focused on doing that. If you're trying to influence or change someone's energy with your own energy, and you're like, just know this, just listen to me, that's not gonna work. But when you reach that level of just being better just because of things that's going on inside of you, not driven by any external reasons, that is when you will start changing the people around you. You can change your whole family's attitude, you can change people's lives, but you have to go inwards first and do the hard work. But a little secret, it's actually not that hard to do the hard work when it's desire that's driving your discipline. I hope that makes sense.
Sometimes we find ourselves in a really negative headspace, and no matter how hard we try, we just can't stay positive. I've got a tip for that. So when you're thinking, this sucks, and this is wrong, and that, and this, and pause for a moment and take one breath. Think about something that you are trying to manifest, something that makes you excited. Try to fill yourself with as much of that energy as possible, and then very importantly, smile. All of that takes like 10 to 15 seconds. Don't try to think too much in detail about it. Just hold the feeling and smile. then you start counting in your head 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you find yourself going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and getting back into that negative space, then just readjust with a smile and continue. Do this for however long you need until you're in a more neutral headspace. By just repeating the numbers, you are not giving your negative thoughts the energy and focus needed to manifest into your physical reality. So you can see why I said to first focus on something that you do want. Because now when you're going into blank mode thought-wise, those negative feelings created by those thoughts are not lingering because you replace them with a positive feeling. And that's what is lingering while you are not consciously creating energy by thinking about it. Make sense? Doing this will remove so much negativity from your life. Hi, this video is just for people that are already following me. You maybe just want to check to see if you still want to follow me, because I did change up my content a lot, so it might not be what you signed up for anymore. And if that's the case, no hurt feelings. I don't want people following me that's not engaging, because that's hurting my reach and what I have to say I really want people to hear. So which is why I just want to say it's fine, you can just unfollow me, that's cool, no hurt feelings. I still love you, I still wish you the best. Yeah. You could have died yesterday. You could have literally not woken up this morning. If you were not meant to be here, you would not be here. And not only are you still here, but you are here watching this specific video. You've endured how many hardships? Think of the wisdom you've gained. Think of how powerful you are. Think of all the people you can help and all the lives you can change. And then go do it. And if you need help, I'm not making any guarantees, but I'd love to try. Remember that when you decide you want something, there's only one of two things that can happen. Either you find a way to get that thing, or you find an excuse to not get it. That's the only two options. And I'm gonna let you in on a secret. You usually find a way to get what you want when you just take action and start doing. And you usually find an excuse when you overthink too much. So don't overthink, just do. And if you need some motivation or reminders of your purpose along the way, just follow me. I'm gonna be here every day to make sure that you never forget how freaking powerful and special you are. And you never forget what an impact you can have in this world. So
could have said, well, songs about Ricky, never mind, he's trash. I was like, I could have said that.
That would have really
But I didn't. I said, now I listen and laugh.
Happened yet. Make it happen. And then science will tell you how it happened. That's the point of it, okay? Because I'm getting so tired of that argument. And then people being like, oh, it's scientifically impossible. Just because it's scientifically impossible, that means it's not possible by the current laws of science. Not, it's impossible. Science cannot declare anything impossible. Okay, I think I made my point. Okay, I love you guys. Bye, I'm going for real now. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I logged in and more than half of my videos are just like disappeared. So that's fun. But another fun thing, if you want to know whether the relationship you're in is the right one for you or whether it is toxic AF, there's just one thing you gotta do. Do not go based on what you feel about them. Just think, how do they make you feel about yourself? If they make you feel good about yourself, good relationship. If they make you feel like shit, bad relationship. I don't care if you think that they are amazing. If they don't make you feel amazing about yourself, they're not amazing, okay? And I don't care if you think technically this is a shitty person, but they make you feel so good about yourself, then maybe the world has just got their narrative twisted and they're misunderstood, because if they make you feel good about yourself and they make you see your self-worth, that's a good relationship. That's one to keep. Now I'm gonna go see if I can get my videos back. Love you. Bye. Oh, how I wish I looked like this, but I don't. Anyways, did you know you do not have a problem with discipline? You've got a problem with not believing in yourself. Like, that's why you don't do the things. Like, I do not believe that I am capable of winning the Olympics, so I'm not even going to train for the Olympics. You do not believe you're capable of keeping your room clean, so you're not even going to clean it in the first place. You don't think you're capable of sticking to a routine, so you're not going to get started in the first place, because you don't believe in yourself. Start loving yourself. Start loving yourself and being nice to yourself, taking care of yourself, and all that good stuff. And you know what? You know what? You're gonna become a lot more disciplined. I promise. I promise. She sat at the back and they said she was shy. She led from the front and they hated her pride. They asked her advice and then questioned her guidance. They branded her loud, then were shocked by her silence. When she shared no ambition, they said it was sad. So she told them her dreams, and then they said she was mad.
They told her they listened and covered their ears, and gave her a hug while they laughed at her fears. And she listened to all of it, thinking she should be the girl that told her to be best as she could. But one day she asked what was best for herself, instead of trying to please everyone else. So she walked to the forest and stood by the trees. She heard the wind whisper and dance with the leaves. She spoke to the willow, the elm, and the pine, and she told them what she'd been told time after time. She told them she felt she was never enough. She was either too little or far, far too much. Too loud or too quiet, too fierce or too weak, too wise or too foolish, too bold or too meek. Then she found a small clearing, surrounded by firs, and she stopped, and she heard what the trees said to her. And she sat there for hours, not wanting to leave, for the forest said nothing. It just let her breathe.
Somebody with a working brain, help me out real quick, please. It's gonna be like a second at a time. What's the opposite of rejection therapy? You know, rejection therapy where you like ask people for things so that they will say no, so you can get used to having people say no to you and rejecting you. Is there a way to get therapy for the opposite of that? Like saying no to people for stuff without feeling like shit? So I just had a little situation where I was unable to help someone with something that I really did want to help them with. Like I was so excited about it, but I couldn't. Sorry, what the heck? I couldn't, like I couldn't do it. It's out of my control, and I had to say no. And now I'm just sitting here the entire time going, oh my gosh, they hate me. Like this is so awful. I just ruined their life by not helping them, and my mind is spiraling. And I need to get used to saying no more. Like. Or maybe I just shouldn't say no and just like help people forever. I don't know. Help me, smart people. People smarter than me. So, all y'all, basically. All y'all. So I just read this thing about how we are called beings and not doings. And I agree. We need to stop doing so much. You're doing too much. Just be. Be moving. I just had a thought that was like really significant to me, and it might be very insignificant to you, but you're in my bathroom now. It's not clean, but I wanted to record it now because I was like, if I don't record it now, then I'm not gonna record it at all. So I'm recording it now, just to say, okay, I was watching this video, this Abraham Hicks video, and this woman asked, from the crowd, asked, there's a K in there, asked, look at the nose, okay, asked, like if we're only supposed to tell the good stories, like so do we only focus on the good, right? And then basically it ended up that Abraham said you only tell the good stories. And then the woman asked, so do you just forget about the rest? And then I don't know what the answer was, what Abraham said, because I heard like an answer clear as day in my head that was like, no, you don't forget about them. You don't forget about the stories with bad endings, and that's why you only tell the stories with good endings. You only tell the stories you only tell the stories with good endings, because every story has a good ending. I messed it up. It was going to be so smooth. Every story has a good ending if you think of it from the right angle. So you got to adjust your perspective. You can tell all the stories, and they're all good. I think that the example Abraham used, I think they said, like, if you imagine some adversity that happened in your life, and like, let's say someone says, tell me about yourself, and you think about all the significant things that happened, and you think of a significant bad thing that happened to you, but looking back at it, it all worked out and you're happy and you're at peace, then tell that story. Like, don't say, like, when I was 12, I was hospitalized for 3 months. I was, by the way, because that sounds so tragic, you know? Like, bad vibes, amen. So rather you should say, like, so when I was 12, I was in hospital for like 3 months, and it was very lonely, but I had, like, the internet, so I got really good at graphic designing. So it's a positive, you know? Like, just make it positive. Just if you tell a story, make sure the ending is good. And every ending is good if you just look hard enough. Smart people can find it, and you're like smart, so that means you can find it.
No more excuses. Dinosaur hands. Wow. Okay, I'm being weird. I'm gonna go. Can I be vulnerable with you real quick? Please? It's gonna be a bit dramatic. I'm weird, I know I'm weird, and I love it. I embrace my weirdness. I like being like awkwardly, I like truly, I don't mind it. I feel like that's what makes me me. But if I were ever to be stuck in one of those scenarios where you need to face your worst nightmare and your biggest fear, what my nightmare would be, if I'm being honest with myself, it's gonna be everybody going, you're weird. And I'm gonna be like, oh, but like, we love weirdness. Like, you guys are weird too. We're all weird, that's what makes us special. And they're gonna be like, we're all the same kind of weird. We don't know what the hell you are. And we've just been pretending because we feel sorry for you because you're like, you're so weird. Oh, like, you're so different. And I'm just gonna be like, I'm too weird for even the weird people. Like, I tell myself, truly, I take solace in the fact that I am not special enough to be the only person in the world who thinks about things the way that I think about things and feels about things the way that I feel about things. I take solace in that, in knowing that I'm not so special, that I'm the only one. Because I think my biggest fear is being the only one. Is having nobody be like, yeah, I get you, I understand you. Because, I don't know. Oy, oy, oy. My baby put all the dog pills in the water bowl. All the food pills in the water bowl. I'm gonna go deal with that. Wish me luck and stay weird. It's gonna be like a one massive rant about social media, I guess. And then this is just gonna be like a one massive rant about social media, I guess. And then my solution to it, for me at least, I'm done, I'm over it, I'm finished, God. This internet of the creator thing, I don't want that. I have made so many TikTok accounts and grown them, and then usually they reach a point where something goes really viral and there's just too much pressure on me and I just end up abandoning the account. Anybody that's following me even on here can attest to that. Like, I'll be posting videos, we're connecting, we're having fun, it's a good time, and then suddenly I just disappear, usually when I start getting a lot of new followers, because I just freak out and I'm just like, I don't know what to do there. Because my For You page is filled with these gurus telling me I need to provide you with value and I need to be consistent and you guys need to know exactly what you can get and expect from me, and like, it's not about me, it's about you. And I'm just like, sorry, not sorry. I want it to be about me because I love coming on here. The times when I was the happiest and I felt like thriving socially, those are the times when I was really active on here, and you guys are so great. I love engaging with you guys. That's my favorite part. But then I feel like, okay, wait, no, this isn't what you signed up for. I'm wasting your time. Like, it's really, really overwhelming because I feel like if I just post the videos that I want to post, then I'm not giving you any value, and therefore I don't deserve your attention. I don't deserve you following me. You're giving something to me, but I'm not giving anything to you. I want to come on here and I want to post whatever video I want to post, and then I want to hang out with you guys in the comments, and I want to be able to see, oh, hey, Sadie is in the comments again. Let's ask her how her little brother is doing. I don't want it to be a thing of I'm here and then you guys give me money and you give me things, stuff, and admiration, and I'm just like, yeah, I deserve it. Bow down to me. I can't do that. It doesn't sit right with me. It makes me anxious. It makes me just shut down and just completely remove myself from the app, like I've done so many numerous times when I had a video that's gone too viral. So I just want to remove all the pressure off of myself. I'm saying it straight up now. This is not my job. Your life isn't going to be changed by watching me. You might get a friend, you know, but the only thing you need to give to get a friend is friendship. So just be friendly and I'll be friendly back and be part of a friendly community. That's all I want. I can't tell you this is what you can expect from me because I don't know what to expect from me. It's not my job. Whenever you watch a video of me, imagine I'm just like one of your friends that sent you this video on WhatsApp or via messaging. Like, I recorded a video and I sent it to you specifically for you to tell me what your thought is. I might post 5 videos on one day and then go 5 months without posting anything, or I might post 1 video a day very consistently. I can't tell you what to expect because I don't know. I'm just living life. I don't have a plan for this. The only plan I have for this is that this isn't my job. I don't want to make it my job because every time I've tried to make it my job, I've ruined the entire experience for me and I've lost something that I really enjoy. On this profile, I'm never gonna opt to follow. I'm never gonna opt to share a link or leave a random comment just boost my engagement because I want to go viral. I'm basically gonna be treating my TikTok the way I treated my Facebook in like 2012 because that's truly when I had the best time on the internet. And I guess I just wanted to tell you guys, to inform you that if you were following me for a certain reason and you're expecting certain videos. That's most likely not going to happen. If you go look at my profile, you see that I removed most of my videos, including like my most viral one, and I only left up the videos that I genuinely like, my personal favorite video, regardless of how many views or engagement they got, because that's really not what this is about anymore. So I tried to try that because I thought like, I should, and I guess I wanted to for a while, but then every time I came close, I would realize like, no, it's not what I want, and then try to push through again at a different time, and then just be like, no, that's not gonna work for me. I don't have what it takes to make me my job. Like, I have mad respect for all the influencers that do it. A lot goes into it. I can't. But I do still really want to be here. I want to hold on to the parts that I enjoy and that mean so much to me. So I'm just being really vulnerable and really honest with you guys and letting you know what's going on. And that was probably longer than I intended it to be. But if you're still watching it, I just want to say I really appreciate knowing that there are still strangers out there that's willing to lend an ear. I'm now again very excited to make videos. Like, I already am like, oh, I want to tell you guys about what this happened and this that happened already just by making this video. I feel like my passion for sharing stuff with you guys is coming back. So I'm really happy now. Very validating to me and confirmed that this is the right decision. So it's really awkward for me to end the video because I don't know how. So I'm just going to say thank you for existing. I love you.
So do you ever feel like you're smart and you know you're smart, but the world makes you feel really dumb? Like, I know that the reason things are louder in the dark is because there's no like light particles in the air for the sound to have to filter through, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's scientifically correct, but it's a thing that I know. And for the sake of this example, let's say it is scientifically correct. I also know if I were to read an explanation of that phenomenon, or whatever you want to call it, in a scientific journal explaining it scientifically, I would have to like reread it multiple times and probably give up on it, feeling like I'm just too stupid to understand it. Meanwhile, I do understand the concept, I just don't understand it in the way you want me to prove that I understand it. Does that make sense? Because I'm standing behind it. Okay. Love you.
Let me tell you, if you think you need to find yourself, you're stuck in an endless race you're never gonna win. You do not need to find yourself. You're not lost. You're just undefined. What you do is you decide and you become. As in, you decide who you want to be, and then you become that person. You don't find yourself, you create yourself. You get that, right? People who don't get that, who never realize they can create themselves, they just keep running on the programs that they got throughout their childhood. If you had a traumatic childhood, chances are those programs were meant to help you survive. That was the function of those programs, to help you survive, not to thrive. They're not going to do anything for you thriving. That you're going to have to like completely uninstall those programs, get updates, like get new software completely that helps you thrive, because you don't need to survive anymore, hopefully. Changing your perspective like that, from you don't find yourself, you decide who you are and you become that, it can have such a big effect. And I'm hoping for at least one person it will, maybe. If not now, maybe like in 2 years somebody sees this video and they're like, oh, that's how it works.
to that. If you've got hate and hurt in your heart, then following your heart will lead you to more of that. But shutting down your heart will leave you feeling unfulfilled and empty. Because even though you now only have hate and hurt in your heart, once upon a time you had desires and dreams, and your heart still longs to fulfill.
So wise. Oh, thanks. It's all the trauma I went through. That's a joke. It's actually because of all the soul searching and introspection that I did by accident when I was trying to figure out why did I deserve all the trauma that I've been going through. Okay. Just watched the video about the guy breaking down why you can't be a good person and be a billionaire because there's no ethical way to earn even $1 billion. And although, like, instantly I'm like, I agree, but then when I think about it, maybe I shouldn't think about it. Because when I think about it, I'm like, okay, but what if, let's say, someone wrote a book. Let's say someone wrote a book and they sold 50 million copies. I know that's a lot of copies, but, like, it could be done. I think it could be done. Let's say someone sold 50 million copies of a book for $20 each. Then they technically would have earned $1 billion. Like, a single $1 billion, they would have earned that. And I feel like they would have rightfully earned it. Right? They wouldn't be a billionaire yet, I guess, because, like, money would have to have gone to, like, distributing and printing and stuff like that. I get it. But, like, surely in cases like that, others aren't being exploited. Right? Like, let's say they sell 100 million copies for $20 each. And now they are a billionaire eventually because they did pay all the people fairly that was working in the distributing centers and the printing houses and stuff like that. You know, then, like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it has been done. I'm just saying there are ways, right? Or am I just, like, totally missing something completely? I might be. That's why I'm asking.
If you're scrolling TikTok, chances are you don't have anything better to do, which means you can totally take some time to hear me out. Because I need to know what I sound like when I say things like this. I need to know whether I sound completely delusional. So hear me out. If I were a billionaire and I got that status ethically, which I do think is possible, as I said in my previous video. Now I'm a billionaire. Do you know what I would do? Whatever I wanted, but I would, like, pay for it. Let's say I wanted artwork to hang in my house. I would pay someone who is passionate about painting and making art, so much so that is the only thing they want to do. I would pay them so much money that they can't just do nothing else except be passionate and obsessed. You know, I'm paying for their passion. I want to feel it in the artworks. So they can completely sustain themselves and their hobbies and everything they need just by making art for me. And they can make art for other people as well. It doesn't matter as long as I get the art I want. It's fine. Or let's say I would hire a private chef and I would pay them so well that they don't have to do anything else except make my, let's say, 2 meals a day for me. That's all they have to do, and I know I'm not gonna expect them to make their whole day revolve around just that. So they're free to do whatever they want. They don't have to go work. They can just be passionate about food. I'm paying for passion. And then let's say they saved up enough money, they want to open their own place. I'll support that place and I'll get the next aspiring person who only wants to cook all the time to come cook for me. You're gonna tell me that's bad? Because I don't think it is. I think it's, like, ethically and wholesomely distributing your money, and that's what I would do. Do I sound crazy? Do I sound completely delulu? I mean, no, because I lose touch with reality sometimes.
Let's say you really understand phones. Like, you put in the work to really understand how phones work, how they're able to do what they're able to do, and how much they've improved, and how much more they're going to improve, and which directions they're going to improve. You really get phones. And now imagine someone comes to you and they're like, I'm experiencing this problem with my phone. And you're like, this is the issue. And they're like, no, see, that can't be the issue, because I have these apps on my phone. And you're like, no, but this is the issue. I've seen it before. In other phones, it's always this issue. And they're like, no, I get that. It makes sense why that was the issue with the other phones. But, like, with my phone, like, they don't have the apps that I have. They haven't, like, used the phone the way I've used the phone, so I don't think that's gonna work for my phone. And you're just like, it's not about the apps. It's not about what you did differently with the phone. It's about how the phone works, like how it functions, man. And it's not about the phone. It's about your brain. It's about your brain, okay?
You're the kind of person who's only nice to people when they're nice to you.
you, and you're like, I don't care if people like me. And at the first moment that someone gives you any sign of perceived disrespect, you turn against them and you're like, I'll show you. Let me just remind you that 99.99% of people are not gonna care what you think about yourself. You can know you're a great person, but if you treat them like shit, they're gonna walk away. They don't care that you think you're great. They care about how you make them feel about themselves, rightfully so. The small remainder of people who don't care more about how you make them feel about themselves and care more about how you feel as a person are most likely people who are still very vulnerable and probably forming more of a trauma bond with you than an actual bond with you. And once they realize that, they're also gonna dip. They're also gonna be like, oh, I think you're great, but you make me feel like poo about myself, so bye. You can't blame them for that. You wanna know whether you're toxic or not? Think about whether if the people you cared about did exactly to you what you do to them and treat you exactly the way that you treat them, whether you would be like, you can't do that. If you would, you're toxic. Toxic, and sorry, not sorry, you're toxic. But if they did to you what you do to them and you're like, that's fair, I get that, I can understand. They might still be wrong, but you're not toxic. You're maybe just ignorant. One is better than the other, by far.
I was raised Christian, and when I was younger, I was very devout. And then I started having all of these feelings and questions, and I ultimately became so confused because I knew God, and yet it was nothing like the Christians were telling me it's supposed to be like. A lot of other things that I also felt I knew were also in contradiction with what people were telling me God and religion is like. Over time, I did find my personal journey leading me back to the God that I knew from within. And my aha moment that really solidified my faith came with the realization that we were made in God's image. God is the creator. We were made in the image of the Creator, and we are the divine's highest expression of itself. So it would only make sense that we also have the power of creation. Although I like to call it the gift of creation. I know we weren't created to glorify God by following all of His rules and singing His praises 24/7 like some obedient child. If you just look at and really understand the teachings of Jesus, you'd see it's actually quite the opposite. God's commandments are rules for how the world that He has created operates. It's not rules that you need to follow in this life, otherwise you're going to be punished. I mean, free will is God's entire thing, and it's not free will if you're just making the decisions out of fear of being punished. I know you know that. We were created for God to experience the world that He has created. How would God be able to experience all of the endless combinations of experiences and all of the endless combinations of orders in which those experiences can happen? Especially when most of those experiences involve other people. By being every single one of those people, God is as much you as He is me, as He is your neighbor, as He is the homeless drug addict, as He is the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Why would God allow bad things to happen to me then? Because He is God, and He knows that to experience is more about to trust than it is about to control, and every experience is valuable. Why wouldn't God want to know what it feels like to be an ex-criminal who turned their life around just as much as He would want to know what it would feel like to be poster child privileged? God knows one experience is not inherently better or worth more than the other experience, and He also knows that both of those experiences will have endless effects on other people's experiences. The point I'm trying to make with that is that if God is within us all to experience it all, do you really think your experience is the one that He chose to dip out on? Do you really think that if God is so committed to experiencing it all, that when it came to just you, He decided to dip out and abandon you? I promise you He did not. God is within you because He wants to know what it feels like when things happen and thoughts are being thought and people who have had their own specific set of experiences are being met in exactly the order and sequence in which your life has been happening. God is within you, experiencing your life with and through you. And now God is about to experience what happens when someone with your unique set of experiences comes across information like this. Do you recognize that if you have God within you, that means you also definitely have the gift of creation within you? Do you start your journey of creation right now? Do you forget about it for now until one day something triggers it and you decide to embrace it? Do you immediately dismiss it? Do you try to dismiss it but can't stop thinking about it for some reason? The possibilities are endless. How exciting.
It's really for everyone, but specifically for people who have a huge fear of failure. Been there, done that. If there's one thing I hate, it's gatekeeping. I figured I can't be a hypocrite, so I'm gonna tell you the one thing I started doing differently, started seeing differently, that completely changed my life. Truly, it changed how I moved, it changed how I thought, it changed how I processed, it changed everything about my life. It was a total paradigm shift. Failure does not exist. Don't scroll, just listen, hear me out. There is no such thing as failure. You cannot fail at something. You can learn, you can gain extra insight, and you can choose to continue or you can choose to give up. If you continue, eventually you will reach your goal or you will give up. You cannot fail. You either succeed or you give up. There is no other way. Having the realization of thinking about it in those terms changed everything for me. I would explain it into oblivion, but I feel like it's almost more powerful to just say it just like that, because I feel like the people who really need to know it are gonna know exactly what I mean. I don't know who you are or what you're doing in my shower, but you can stay if you want to. It just amuse me. Let's imagine someone handed you my leg and they were like, that's... If you'd be confused, we're on the same page because we're more than just our pieces. Think about it. My leg, my thoughts, they're all part of me, and that's where it gets interesting. Descartes, I think therefore I am. Those thoughts, that leg, they're uniquely mine. But there's a twist, I'm more than that. Don't forget feelings. They're like thoughts and my leg. All part of this package called me, but they don't define all of me. Just like thoughts and legs aren't the whole story. So here's a mind bender. If I'm observing my thoughts and my feelings, there's more to me than what's being observed. I must be the observer as well. As of late, I've noticed two sources of my thoughts and my feelings, the soul and the ego. It's just what I'm gonna call it. Sometimes I'm the soul observing my ego, other times I'm my ego checking out my soul. Lately, I've caught my soul and my ego having a little chit chat, observing both of them simultaneously. And it makes me wonder, who's doing the ultimate observing? Think about it in any sense. You can take in everything except the thing you're using to take in everything, your eyes. Unless there's a mirror. I can observe my leg, but not the part that's doing the observing. In the metaphysical, it's thoughts, feelings, ego, and soul. Energy, I can see them all, but not the one doing the observing. What's that one? If I'm not my body, feelings, or thoughts, where's the line? When do I shift from self-observation to observing others? Through my body, anything familiar or observed is linked to me, but where's the boundary? Are you part of me? Or do I just recognize in you what I see in myself? Ever notice how I project? I've clocked others for doing it, and then I end up projecting like that exact same projection. And I've noticed that sometimes when we look at others, it's our soul speaking. When we turn the gaze inwards, ego steps up. Imagine this. Soul wants to team up with ego, but they don't talk. So your soul, that's linked to every other soul, nudges the ego to pay attention, and real life examples pop in. Ever met someone with potential, but low self-worth? You want to tell them how great they are? That's your soul pushing your ego. Feeling unappreciated and upset? That's how your soul feels about your ego. Your soul is saying, that person doesn't see your value. Are you, as our ego, seeing my value? You're frustrated that they don't celebrate your love. I'm frustrated you don't celebrate mine. Feeling critical? Pause. Soul's giving feedback wrapped in love. So here's my thing. If I'm annoyed with someone, I take pen to paper, I list all their faults, I thank them for being a mirror and for giving me the insight. Then I work on those areas in my life, forgetting them in this, because really it's not about them. Their role just fades out. I'm not changing for them. I'm just ensuring I'm solid in these triggers before judging others. So far, it seems the only thing I've perfected enough within myself to start judging others for is not choosing to be who they want to be and just choosing to be who they happen to be. And the fact that I started judging people for that made me realize that I was doing the same thing. I was slipping back into just being who I was and not who I wanted to be. It's always about me, it's never about them. Judging isn't bad, it's survival. But to thrive, don't exclude yourself from your own judgments. Until next time, love ya.
Because I actually kind of like debated making this video. I don't know if anybody needs to hear it, but I feel like I do need to say it, so I'm saying it. I used to struggle sometimes when people tell you to have faith and believe as if it's already done. It would be really difficult for me to believe like I am wealthy when I look around me and I'm not wealthy. And then that some of these coaches would have tricks like, imagine right now you won the lottery and suddenly you could do anything. Imagine what that would feel like, embody that feeling. But even that, I was like, I know my journey isn't going to be winning the lottery, so I struggle to believe that. I struggle to step into it. And I only realized I did this. And it's maybe not a thing that like other people know to do, because it's not a thing I heard somewhere. It's something I kind of started doing on my own, which made me feel like that's why I have to share it. If I wanted to manifest wealth or pray for wealth, but I didn't feel like I'm particularly wealthy in the moment and I can believe it in financial terms, I would tell myself I am always wealthy enough to achieve whatever my life's purpose is. And I would say that for anything. I would be like, I am always happy enough to achieve my life's purpose. I am always healthy enough to achieve my life's purpose. So if my body is aching and I'm like sore, I would be like, yo, I don't feel very healthy right now, but thankfully I know I'm always healthy enough to achieve my life's purpose. So I can just continue working towards my purpose. I don't need to worry about that. Even if I do get sick, I'm still healthy enough to achieve my life's purpose. And for me, that was like invaluable, putting it into that words. Might not be for anybody else, but I still felt like I had some sort of obligation to share it, so I shared it. You're welcome, I think. Or sorry if I just wasted your time. Either way, love you, bye. I'm literally just recording this now because otherwise I'm gonna forget it. But like, you know how there's people who, when other people are happy, they are really happy. Like, they get happy from making other people happy. And then there's other people who are like, if I'm not happy, then I'm not happy. I don't care who's happy around me. Like, their joy isn't my joy. And I think the big difference between those two people is the fact that the people who can experience joy from other people's joy, the people who have realized that in the grand scheme of things, we're all one, you know? Like, their happiness is your happiness. So you're happy when other people are happy. But the people who are not happy when other people are happy, they still think it's like a me versus them, you know? And kind of like there's just so much happiness sometimes like in bad, really worst case scenarios, the people are even like, there's just so much happiness in the world, and if you have the happiness, then I can't have the happiness. So they would actually get upset when other people are happy and thriving, because for them it's not just I'm separate from them and it's everyone for themselves. For them, it's actively me versus everyone else, instead of realizing like they're part of it, you know? Make sense? Chasing this thought around for a while, and then I was just frozen. Like, physically, I was just sat there staring, and I was aware of the fact that I am not moving at all. I was also aware that I probably could move if I tried to, but for some reason I didn't want to at all. Then a dream that I had very recently, but forgotten about, kind of played out like this hazy movie scene. And here's what happened, okay? In my dream now, I had died. It was not me in this body that you're looking at now. I was me. I was the person that died, but I was not this me. And it wasn't scary at all. I died, and it was like, I just closed my eyes in this life. And immediately when I opened them, there was no disconnect or anything. It was just immediately me getting out of this character and feeling so proud of myself. And there were these people around me that were all such extremely high energy, and they were just like congratulating me on a job well done. And this wasn't explicitly in the dream, but it very much felt like we were all just gonna go now, have some drinks, and look at new scripts to decide which role I'm gonna play next. That's what it felt like. And I just sat there and went out loud, as if it made perfect sense. And then for some reason, that 90s show came to mind. And the rest of my thought process was just exactly like this. Yeah, because Leia doesn't know that she is a character in a show. She's just reacting to the things happening around her, and to her it's all very real, and she has no idea that it's a script that everyone is playing off of. If you were to tell her, Leia Foreman, the character, that she was actually an actress, and she's
playing many roles, well, I mean, either her brain would melt if she believed you and tried to make sense of it if she took you seriously, or she would just think you're certifiably insane, and that's so valid. Does that mean that I can't do things that are not in my script? And it means that it is in my script to have this revelation? I get to break the fourth wall. That's always been my favorite kind of movies. How interesting. Does it mean that this world could have made up rules, just like we create movies and shows where the laws of their world does not apply to ours, but in their world it's as real as can be, and they're all bound by it? And to them it's just normal and how it's always been? That actually makes so much sense. What the fuck? Okay. And then I stood up and I went about my day. And I kid you not, I had not opened TikTok in so long. But this whole experience just completely like killed the part of me that was so scared of going after my biggest dream, which is music. And I have like a whole album's worth of songs, more than. And so I decided I'm gonna just like post little clips of me singing to social media. I'll start with covers and I won't care if it's perfect. And I just knew like this time I was actually gonna do it. So I recorded a video and I opened TikTok to post it. And the very first video, mind you, at this point in time, I have not Googled it, I have not typed about anything about this experience, I have not told anyone about it, I have not spoken words out loud about this experience. And the very first video on my FYP was a photo of this iceberg. And it had like, I think the title was Different Levels of Mindsets or something like that. And I was going down the iceberg, being like, yeah, I was like 19 when I experienced nihilism. Oh yeah, I was this old when I experienced this. Oh, this old when I believed this. And I'm making my way down the iceberg and I reach a word like at the bottom that I didn't recognize. The word is super determinism. And I Googled it and well, what do you know? It fits. It fits. It fits. It fits. All of this was like a few days ago, I think. Has time been feeling really weird to anyone else? Anyways, I have since done little experiments and I don't know what to tell you, man, it holds up. I do think I like believing this. And so I also wrote a song about this whole concept that I will be releasing very soon, and also other music that I will be releasing that have all been influenced by these kinds of experiences, because it's not the first time that I've had an experience like this. It's just now that I feel like, well, since I don't care if people think I'm crazy, let me share this, because maybe that's how I'm gonna find the people that connects to my music. So if you don't think I'm crazy, or you do think I'm crazy, if you're curious in any way, I guess, I do believe, it's just gonna be like a pretty exciting time, guys. At least for me, I feel like I went to bed one night and I woke up the next day and I'm like in a super magical world where magic is real. And apparently I get to use it, which is pretty great. If you want to know what music sounds like when it's made by someone that's potentially lost their mind, stick around. You'll find out. Okay, so you know how like you have a lot of thoughts happening at once all the time? And then sometimes when you do some things, sometimes maybe just randomly, maybe who knows, maybe you do something, but sometimes you can like zone in on one thought and you can think it clearly. Like you can actually listen to it, you can actually hear your thoughts, because you can like tune out the frequencies of the other ones and just like focus on the one you wanna like inspect further. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, okay. So someone is supposed to ask me now, but there's no one here to ask me, but now someone is supposed to ask me, wait, I can do a thing. So you don't think your thoughts are your own, you think you're just listening to them and tuning into them? Yeah, exactly, because okay, wait, I don't know yet why they are not why I don't think they're my own. But like they're not my own, you know, like I'm just listening to them. It's like okay, so I know they're not my own because they're not me. Like they're mine, they are my own,
but they're not me, you know? Like, my thoughts are more like the output given by my brain that has been trained on a data set consisting of everything I have ever seen, heard, felt, experienced in this life. So like they are my own. Nobody can have them but me, because like it's been trained on all that data, even the things I don't remember. It's in there, and that's what's producing my thoughts. So they are my thoughts, but they're not me. Who am I then? Wait a minute. Okay. So if my thoughts are like the output of every experience I've ever had, then my thoughts are basically every past version of me. Yeah, that makes sense. My thoughts are every past version of me, and me, who I see as me in every moment, is the me experiencing that moment. Meaning, you know, like I'm not yet in the thoughts. I'm gonna be like in so soon, but it's not yet. Like as I'm experiencing the moment, that's me. I'm not part of the data set yet, so I'm separate. Makes sense? That makes sense. Can I accept that reason? I can accept that reasoning. Yeah? Hold on. Now my thoughts are trailing. It's not loading. So what was the question again? What was the question? So my thoughts are all the past versions of me, and the me is me experiencing this. Yeah, I just have to wait for that data set to be incorporated. It's a little slow today. Anyways, so yeah, that's what it is. I am me experiencing this moment, and my thoughts are all the other me's. So my thoughts aren't me. I am separate from my thoughts because I have not yet been incorporated into that database. Now, what does that mean beyond what I just said? I don't know. Let's see. What does it mean? I don't know. I'm over it now.
There you have it, guys. That is the evolution of me so far. And there is a lot that is not said within those videos. There is a lot that I didn't share, but I hope it gives you a sense of how I have always felt called to do this, and I didn't always know how, but I was always very willing. And it took me a while to figure out how to do it. It took a while for the path to be shown to me, and I can tell you now, one of the biggest things that has played a part in the path being revealed to me is meditation and prayer. Everything I've said in those videos were true at the time of posting. Some of my beliefs have evolved still, but they've not really changed, just evolved is the right word, I believe. And if after seeing this video you now have even more questions, please feel free to go to the community tab on my channel. Yesterday I made a post asking what questions you guys have for me, and that I will be making a video answering them. So you can add your questions onto that post, and I will be making that video. Not anytime too soon, but probably before the end of the month. And in the meantime, I will still share what I feel called to share. I will be continuing to make the content that you guys have come to expect from me, because that is really also what I feel called to do. So thank you so much. If you've watched all of this, do feel free to leave your feelings and thoughts in the comments. I am not too sure whether I will be reading the comments on this one, but we will see. Oh, and one last thing, I know one of the videos in there said I have a song out and it's on YouTube and it's on the streaming platforms. It was. I took it off less than 24 hours after it went live. But the song does still exist, you just cannot find it. There is some polishing that needs to be done. There are many things that I want to improve upon it. I was excited to share it, but I wasn't proud of it. And so I took it down. And I will share it in the future one day, because I think I have three big callings in this world that I have felt since I was a little girl. One of them is telling stories through any medium possible, including songs. One of them is singing specifically. I cannot describe the feeling I get from inside when I sing. That is when I feel the closest to my creator. That is when I feel like I am living my purpose the most, and then also helping others. And at this point in time, I know that is through the messages that I share. I don't know how it's going to look in the future, but I know it will always be part of my journey and part of my calling to help as many souls as I possibly can. So thank you. I love you. I hope this doesn't change too much between us. Thank you for everything.